Hello there. It's Nubis tapping into the consciousness out there. I've been quietly piecing together my first video essay on the modern parallels and importance of the Black worker by W.E.B. Du Bois, with the hopes that it might serve as a study aid for students and other enthusiasts out there. In the meantime, I wanted to try out my editing skills and show you the books I picked up this week. So before you click off or get hit with another ad, let's get into it. Number 1. The Sisterhood, The Secret History of Women at the CIA by Liza Mundy. This one quenches my thirst for the clandestine actions carried out by the United States. With recent assassinations, petroleum diddler riddles, and blackmail ops from my friendly neighborhood ally, I found myself wondering about honeypot operations and spycraft across the globe. Plus, I think it's time I add some feminist literature to my library, so drop your recommendations below. This book uncovers the hidden history of the women who shaped American intelligence. The females, analysts, and code breakers who worked to find the Cold War, yet was buried beneath secrecy and sexism. Liza Mundy traces how these women fought not only foreign threats, but institutional barriers within the CIA itself, carrying out power in a world that was refusing to see them. It wasn't just espionage, it's a story of the invisible brilliance being recognized. And like me, Sevin Becker and Du Bois will analyze a sweeping economic history that reveals how a single plant, cotton, shaped the world. Me, I plan to draw and show the similarities in our modern world. Sevin Becker connects the plantations, mills, slavery, and capitalism into one brutal yet illuminating global story about how empire, money, and violence wove the fabric of modern industry. Reading it feels like tracing the threads of capitalism itself back to the soil and the whip. This one's a core source for my Du Bois video. I've seen it in Barnes & Noble and have even heard it referenced in lectures. Apart from Cotton's deep ties to my country and ancestry, I'm excited to read this to gain a better understanding of capitalism, something I've despised since childhood. Further demystifying in my head the hypnopompic illusion that is the American economy. Number 3. Vivaldi, Voice of the Baroque by H.C. Robbins Landon. A deep dive into the genius of Antonio Vivaldi, the Venetian composer whose fiery violin concertos and sacred works define the Baroque era. Landon doesn't just analyze the music, he paints the world around it, Venice's splendor, the orphans who performed his compositions, and the rise and fall of a man whose sound still glows centuries later. Aside from the spearmint senescent essence of the cover, one of my recent late night deep dives into Catholicism transported me into the 17th and 18th century European era of Baroque, a time where art, architecture, music, and literature aimed to evoke awe, to overwhelm, and to sanctify. Over time, the Baroque came to symbolize power, emotion, and transformation. It reflected a Europe emerging from the Renaissance into a world of royal courts, religious reform, and scientific discovery. I saw much of myself, even my own style, in the art of the era. It was during that rabbit hole, somewhere between Caravaggio's shadows and the echo of a Vivaldi concerto, that I stumbled across this book. Number 4, The Last Days of Socrates by Plato. The timeless dialogues where philosophy meets mortality. Through Plato's pen, we witness Socrates standing before the Athenian court, unyielding, ironic, and wise, as he defends truth against conviction. This isn't just about death, it's about integrity, the courage to question, and what it means to live a life examined. I believe I first saw this book on Twitter. The almost haunting crimson blood stained cover caught my eye at first and tempted me to acquire more. Socrates is someone who recently piqued my interest. I partially read The Republic, and I honestly credit that book with why I am as wise as I am today. It's actually one of my go-to recommendations. Upon reading the line, the trial and condemnation of Socrates for hearsay and corrupting young mind in the description, my natural interest intensified, which is why I picked this book, and is the one I look forward to reading the most. Philosophy is a subject I love because I can almost feel it at times breaking and molding my mind, each neuron firing to admit new thoughts, new perspectives. Philosophy and writing alchemize the mind of the reader, therefore altering the mind of the reader. The hour of departure has arrived, and we go our ways. I to die, and you to live. Which is better? God only knows. Each of these books connect to a thread that I'm tugging at. Some are sources, some are symbols, all of them reflecting a much larger picture of me, you, and of the world around us. All of these books were purchased on World of Books on eBay, and I'll leave a link to the store down in the description. This isn't sponsored, but their books are cheap, and a lot of them are buy 3, get 1 free. So tell me what you've been reading, drop your recommendations, thoughts, and even critiques down in the comment. Until then, stay luminous. Anu Ashe.